Hello everyone, welcome to the Foekoe gaming channel, and today I am finally going to respond to the Antonblast criticism that I received. So in case you missed it, about a month or so ago in December, I made a video called Stop Consuming Slop, Play These Indie Games Instead, and I talked about the mouthwashing, UFO 50 and Antonblast, and I got a lot of quite a lot of criticism and flack from the Antonblast part, and I want to properly reflect upon that. I don't just want to push everything away and say like, oh, this is just my opinion, you guys are wrong. Some of the points you guys have made are fair. And I want to properly reflect on that, because I do want to make better videos, and the only way to improve the stuff I make is to take in criticism and learn from that. Now, that being said, I don't want to flip-flop my opinion around because I'm being peer pressured. The Foekoe channel is my opinion. If I wanted to make everyone happy, I would just say I like every single game, but I don't want to do that because this is a very personal thing to me. I want to make the videos I want to make. I want to give my honest opinion, but sometimes I make a dumb mistake. And in the case of the Antonblast review, I think I wasn't as honest as I should have been. In hindsight, I think I was just too critical on Antonblast, especially for like the context of the video. The video is like, oh, you should play these games, and I was very positive about mouthwashing. I was really positive about UFO 50. It was my favorite game of the year. But then Antonblast, I was more of like, yeah, this is a good game, but it has a lot of issues, and I spent half of the length of that video criticizing it. So what I did before I started making this video right here is I fully 100% completed Antonblast to get like a full understanding of how the game works and its mechanics, and then I re-edited / redid my Antonblast review on it, my Antonblast segment, and I'm going to show that after I am done discussing what went wrong in this review, what I think could be improved, what I can learn from, but I'm also gonna stand by some points, and I will make sure that it will be very clear. So the main criticism I received is that I spent too much time talking about Pizza Tower in comparison to Antonblast, and looking back on it in hindsight, I can see where people are coming from. I did spend quite a bit of time talking about Pizza Tower, but the reason I did that is because, well, Antonblast and Pizza Tower are very similar games. I got comments saying like they are very different. I'm not saying that Antonblast is a copycat, okay? Like, the game has its own legs it can stand on. They are completely separate, but they are similar. Like, they are both 2D platformers where you go fast. They both have a bombastic art style. They both have really loud and over-the-top music. Like, it's not like that far of a reach to say that Pizza Tower and Antonblast are similar. I guess the main reason why I mentioned and talked about Pizza Tower so much is because I want people that really like Pizza Tower to know what Antonblast is really about, so they can see, oh, hey, I like Pizza Tower, I will probably also like Antonblast, and they would go check it out. That was my thought process, at least, when I was making the video. Looking back on it though, I think I definitely overdid it. Like, I overdid it by a lot. So to make it a little easier for you guys to digest what I'm talking about, I want to very visualize how this review was structured. So I put the Antonblast review into Premiere, and I cut out the segments, or at least I labeled the segments where I was talking about Pizza Tower, and I also wanted to segment the part where I was really critical about the game. I'll put that image on screen right now. So the purple segments are when I was talking about Pizza Tower, and the red segment is when I was criticizing it, like heavily criticizing it. As you can see, I talked about Pizza Tower 5 times. The first time was me saying Pizza Tower 2 before a montage. That was supposed to be like a joke, a callback to a previous video. If you didn't watch that previous video, I can understand that it came across like, oh, it's just a copycat. That wasn't my goal, but it did come across like that, and that's on me, okay? The second part, the second Pizza Tower chunk, is me explaining how I found out about Antonblast. The third one is me making a direct comparison to Pizza Tower with the pizza time and happy hour mechanics. The fourth part is also a comparison to how the game is structured, and the fifth one is me saying that I liked Pizza Tower more to Antonblast. I quoted, it by a lot. So that is 5 Pizza Tower mentions about it. Well, I actually forgot one. There are actually 6 of them. And it means that for about a minute long, if you get all the Pizza Tower chunks, mush them together, for about a minute long I was talking about Pizza Tower in an Antonblast review. Is that fair? Honestly, no it isn't, and it kind of sucks that I did, because I'll say it again, I said it in the video itself, Antonblast is a fun game. I really enjoyed it. I gave it a B, like a B is considered good in my eyes. I had a lot of fun with it, and for like half of that review I was either being really negative or I was talking about a completely different game. That isn't really fair, and I should have done a better job actually reviewing and discussing Antonblast. I really like this comment that I received that says, wow, I wonder what he thinks about Antonblast, the suspiciously Pizza Tower shaped review in the corner. I mean, it's, yeah, fair. I can see where this person is coming from. I really wish I structured the video better to begin with, but I guess the reason why it came out this way is because when I was playing Antonblast, I think the game has a lot of rough edges, like little irritating bits that stick out, and I think they just kind of just piled up for me, and they soured parts of the game for me personally. After I replayed the game, fully completing it, I added like another 30 hours of playtime into it. They aren't as bad as I initially thought. Like, they are little bumps that are a little annoying, but I wouldn't call them game breakers. Like, you can easily just skim past them and still enjoy the game. And I wish I did that from the beginning. This is also usually the reason why I really like fully completing a game before I review it, which for in the case of Antonblast, this is, if you want to fully complete this game, it takes like 40-ish hours. That's a lot of time, and I didn't have that much time because it was about to turn Christmas and I wanted to have something out. So I just completed the game, and I beat the final boss, and then I was, alright, let's start reviewing this thing. And because of that, I think I missed a lot of core elements about what makes Antonblast special. Like the bosses, in hindsight, I replayed a few of them after my review. In the review I said I thought they were a little rough, or they aren't that great, I forgot, but the bosses are fun. I enjoyed it. I really like the dragon snake thing. It has a lot of funny faces, and I also like the diamond boss fight, like the big gem. They are creative, fun bosses. They aren't bad. They aren't poorly designed. They are challenging. You will die a couple of times, but they aren't bad. I kind of feel the same way about the stage Mad Mall. When I played it for the first time, I thought it was bad. Like really bad, because you are dropped into a stage and you have to do 4 segments in a timely manner. The first time I did it, I didn't get a single one of the routes done on my first attempt. So I just failed the entire level, but I was still able to beat it. And it felt really like not earned. But then when I replayed it a couple of times, and I did manage to like do all the routes correctly and press the button at the end, I really enjoyed it. I thought it was really fun, but I didn't do that when I made this video. I only properly played this stage after my review, and again, I wish I didn't. Then you have the big chunk of about a minute and 45 seconds to 2 minutes where I was heavily criticizing the game. And if I'm honest, I think these points are still very strong. I stand by them, but I wish I structured them differently. Having a whole 2-minute part in a 5-minute review just bad-mouthing Antonblast, I don't think it's fair. What I should have done is just rapid fire through some of my issues with it. Like 30 seconds, bam, 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 bam. Here are my issues, let's move on. Instead of like a big 2-minute segment. My biggest criticism towards Antonblast was the hammer jump. I don't know how many times I did it on accident, but it did genuinely like get under my nails after a certain point. I did get used to it, but it was a little finicky. So I spent like, I think I spent like 45 to 30 seconds like discussing that mechanic and wishing I was able to map it to a different button. In hindsight, again, I wish I had it in like a 10-second segment. and that was it. But no, I bloated it up to like 40 seconds. The same goes for Pinball Mire. Pinball Mire is like a little finicky stage. It's still fun. I like the style of it. I like the idea. But I don't know. I guess it didn't really click with me. I do think it's the weakest stage of the game. But would I call it like bad after replaying it a couple of times and doing the combo chain and the part time? No, I don't. I think I was definitely too harsh on it. Again, I wish I fully completed the game before I made the review. That's what I usually do, but but this time I didn't because I didn't want to rush it out because I didn't. But I did like kind of, I guess, speed up the process of me reviewing a game. I also got some comments about using Pizza Tower music and people saying that they were kind of disappointed in that. I guess my thought process behind that is I was looking through the Antonblast soundtrack, but none of the songs were like calm, soothing background music. There were some, but not a lot, and that is usually the mood I like to go for in these videos. There's just like some really like down-to-earth music in the background. Like Antonblast soundtrack is a banger, okay? It has really fun music, but a lot of it is very bombastic and loud and just all the way to the moon, you know? That doesn't fit in my video usually, so that's why I gravitated towards Pizza Tower, because I knew Pizza Tower had more like low-key songs, and I felt like it would be fitting because, again, they are similar games, not copycats, okay? They are similar, so I thought it was a good match. But looking back on it, I understand where people are coming from, because, again, it is me just kind of, not directly, but sort of like referencing and pointing towards Pizza Tower. I was definitely like sucking Pizza Tower off passionately, and I understand why some people got like irritated towards that, because it did kind of come across like I was saying, hey, Antonblast is a Pizza Tower ripoff or a copycat, which it isn't, okay? Antonblast has its own legs it gets stand on, it's good, it's a similar game to Pizza Tower, but not a copycat, not a blatant, like, ripoff. The same goes for the montage at the start, which I thought was, like, cute, but I did use Unexpectancy Part 2. This was like a perfect opportunity for me to make like a proper montage with Antonblast music, and I think it's really dumb that I didn't, because yes, Antonblast has bombastic music. It would be perfect for a montage like this, but instead I picked Unexpectancy Part 2 from Pizza Tower. So I also fixed that in my re-edited version. I used the song from the Dragon Snake boss, and I actually think I improved it by quite a bit. Yeah, I think that's everything I wanted to talk about. So in hindsight, I said hindsight like 6 times this video. This review, I think I make valid points, but I was definitely too critical. I talked too much about Pizza Tower. I shouldn't have used Pizza Tower music. And it's, yeah, I wish I handled it differently. But that's the beautiful part about editing. I can just go back into my file and tweak things around. And that's what I did. So again, I fully completed the game. I added like 30 more hours of playtime into it. And then I re-edited my review and took in all the criticism you guys have given me and tried to mold something differently and be more, I guess, positive about the game, but also being more fair. So, I'll show that right now. I hope it is good. I also uploaded to my clip channel, which is a new channel, and I hope you guys enjoy it. Here it is. Alright boys, I think we can all agree that there is only one proper way to start a game review like this off. And that's with a montage, baby. It's pretty good. I'll give it like a high B tier, low A. Yeah, Alright, to begin, let's get the elephant out of the room. Antonblast is not Pizza Tower, okay? Yes, they are both games where you go fast and destroy stuff. They both have a very absurd and over-the-top art style. And they are both partially inspired by Wario Land 4. Sure, they have similarities, but this isn't a blatant copy. Antonblast has his own legs it can stand on, and it does things quite a bit differently. Some of it to great extent. I had a lot of fun sprinting through its stages, but I would be lying if I didn't mention that it does have a few hiccups that did hinder my enjoyment a bit. We'll get to those hiccups later, but for now, in this game, you go boom through a level, breaking and exploding everything on your path, flattening enemies with your hammer, doing a bit of platforming, using some funky power-ups until you reach the end, which has a button you need to press. Once you press said button, a segment will start called Happy Hour, and a timer starts ticking down, and you have to run all the way back to the start of the level before you get consumed by a wall of fire. It's a very frantic and over-the-top type of game that fully leans into its chaotic side, sometimes even to a fault, like everything just kinda explodes because it feels like it. But the core gameplay of speeding through levels and seeing everything crumble into piles of unrecognizable clutter is a lot of fun, and the game's biggest strength, especially once you start to go for those perfect runs in the part-time or combo chain modes, which are hard, yes, but mastering the stage, it's just so much fun, man. And the energy of it all is just so goddamn intoxicating, with the art direction, animation work, and music really helping to amplify the chaos around you. Every level also has a very creative and funny theme, like Bomb Candy Mines is a mine filled with bombs you need to kick around. Concrete Jungle is modern-day Los Angeles, like I'm pretty sure it's a one-to-one recreation of it. Mad Mall is a mall that made me mad when I played it for the first time because I sucked at it, but on my next attempt when I beat it, I went, hey, this one's actually pretty good. When Antonblast sets out what it wants to do, being an over-the-top chaotic platformer about breaking a crap ton of props, it does shine. It shines bright, and the final level, Hell Manor, is one of the greats. It's not as fast as Pizza Tower, not as precise as Celeste, but it's a nice middle ground of the two, and when you are flying through levels without making a single mistake, it does feel awesome. I really enjoyed going for the combo chains in this game. The story of this stupid title is also just pure perfection, so Satan is mad at Anton because he is redder, like the color red. So he steals all of Anton's alcohol and flashes his ass in your face every single time a level starts. Like, it's pure genius. Breaking Bad levels of writing right here. So, gameplay, good. Story, funny. Art style, charming. But with that being said, it does have some rough edges that knocks it down a peg or two for me. These goblin enemies, for example, are the bane of my existence. The straight up platforming is a bit too slippery at times for its own good. Pinball Mire is a tad too clunky for my liking. The hammer jump should be remappable to another button so you don't do it on accident every single goddamn second. And like, the chaos of everything exploding is all cartoonishly silly and fun, but it does make it hard at times to follow what the hell is even going on. But besides that, this is still a very solid and enjoyable platformer that the creators clearly put a lot of elbow grease into, and it shows. I mean, there is a backrooms pool level. It's genius, masterpiece, and you even nuke a boss into Brazil. It's perfection. The issues that I mentioned, though, are definitely minor, and while they did slightly lower my overall enjoyment, it isn't enough for me not to recommend this game. So in short, Antonblast is one hell of a blast. yeah, it's pretty good. I liked it. That's it. That's my re-edited Antonblast review. I think it's a lot better compared to what I had before. It is a lot more positive and focuses more on like the fun qualities of Antonblast. I think the original review I made isn't like horrendous, but I do think it's too critical, and I think all the Pizza Tower comparisons are a bit tone deaf. Now, I did mention Pizza Tower twice in the re-edited version, and the reason why I decided to keep that in is because personally I always really like to make comparisons to I'd like to compare games together, because it gives the audience something to grasp on, something to relate to. It sets their expectations in check, I guess you could say. Again, I think that Pizza Tower and Antonblast are similar games, not copycats. Pizza Tower is definitely more focused on like speedy gameplay, and Antonblast is more focused on like level gimmicks and combat, but again, 2D platformers, you go fast, you destroy a bunch of stuff, they are similar, let's not deny it. I also still had a small 30-second, 40-second segment where I was rapid firing through some of my issues of the game. The reason why I still wanted to keep that in, because I do think this game has issues, and I want to properly criticize that without being like a spoiled gremlin. And I think I did it a lot better. In the original review, I said that Pinball Mire is a garbage, unfun stage, and the way I worded that is just, it's kind of insulting towards the developers in my opinion. I don't even think it's that bad. It is a tad clunky, it's a tad annoying, I guess you could say, not horrendous, and I think I managed to word my, I expressed my opinion a lot better in my re-edited version, and I hope you guys can actually see that. I actually tried to like improve the review on it, okay? Like, I am like earning like no money from this, so I did this because I'm genuinely passionate about it. Overall, after like putting in another 25 hours into Antonblast and re-editing my review for it, I don't think it deserves a B tier anymore. I think it's like high B, low A. As you can see in the little television at the top, it has been slowly changing to a A tier. Yeah, this is a fun game. I really enjoyed it. I don't think it's like a masterpiece. It has flaws. There are little like irritating bumps that definitely like lower my enjoyment factor. But if you're expecting like a balls to the walls platformer where you go crazy with some fun comedy, Antonblast is the perfect game for you. It's great, it's a lot of fun, and I do recommend it. So, in short, in summary, I guess, TLDR, I was too critical on Antonblast. I shouldn't have mentioned Pizza Tower over 6 times. I should have used Antonblast music in my montage and for the entire video instead of Pizza Tower music. And I should have talked more about the fun aspects of the game. I think I did it pretty well in the re-edited version, but, you know, I'm still open to criticism. That's the whole reason why I wanted to make this video. I generally want to make better videos, and if you guys have criticism, please just leave a comment, or like even message me on Twitter, message me on Discord, or even like my goddamn Steam profile, or just anywhere. If you have something to tell me, please tell me. I'm not like some weird monster that is like lurking over like the industry or whatever. I'm just a little guy making videos, playing video games. That's how I see myself, at least, and I hope you guys also just see me as that. I'm just a little guy. I play video games. I like video games and making dumb jokes about it. That's the reason why I'm doing YouTube. I genuinely just have fun doing it. But yeah, that's the main part of this video done. The final thing I want to talk about though is the reaction, specifically Twitter had towards this whole debacle. Like, YouTube comments were like most of them were pretty like on point, I would say, but Twitter, some of the messages I got on Twitter were insane. There were like multiple posts with like thousands of likes, and there was, if you just went to like into the comments or like the quote tweets, it was just people insulting me left and right. I can take that, okay? I don't really care what people think about me, but it was a little extreme. Like, come on, man. Like, I was being compared. I saw some guy like comparing me to war criminal. Of course they are joking, but really? I just made a critical video about Antonblast. Some guy also just like, I got multiple like death threats. It was nuts, man. It was like the wildest 3 days of my YouTube career. And all of it was happening while I was celebrating Christmas. I wasn't even on Twitter, so a lot of it flew over my head. It was wild. It was like the weirdest thing ever. Again, guys, if you have criticism, please just tell me, man. I am open to it. If you don't like my videos, that's fine. You don't have to watch them. You can insult me. I don't care. I really don't. but at least keep it fair, okay? Criticize me for things you can actually be criticizing me of. Don't compare me to like a goddamn war criminal. That's insane. Like a good criticism would be that I glaze indie games too much and I talk too much down on AAA. Because, yeah, I do that quite a bit. But there are fun, good AAA games out there, like the Resident Evil games. Astrobot was really good. Helldivers, Persona, the Yakuza series is apparently really good. There's fun stuff out there. Like, you can criticize me on stuff. Just, like, please make it make sense. If you want to insult me, like, if you want to call me a piece of shit, an asshole, like a garbage human being, go ahead. I don't really care. But if you want to properly criticize me, please give me proper criticism. Don't just tell me that I'm a piece of shit. I just can't do anything with that. That's just like a personal opinion. Cool, you hate me. What now? I guess it's just like a Twitter moment, right? Like people just kind of spew their opinion on the site without really like thinking of like consequences, which I think is social media in general. People just kind of just blabber online. I do it myself too, okay, with this channel and my main, I guess, too. So yeah, guys, if you have anything you would like to add, like your own personal opinion on how you feel about this whole thing, if you think I've handled it correctly, if you think I handled it really poorly, please let me know below. Yeah, that's it. I am going to, I'm going to sleep. Alright, bye.